The Hebrew text in the Bible has hidden formats. By revealing these formats, I will prove the first writer's words were hidden from you. These formats look like poetry as I group them into small paragraphs. Their grouping will become known as a psalm, and together they become psalms. Let me show you our Creator's 12 commandments, listed in Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. Any father of a family or his wife who did not obey any one of these 12 commandments, our Creator demanded they bring him a sin offering. Thus, our Creator defined the word sin as not obeying any one of these 12 commandments. Next, I want to show you how I changed one word in Exodus 26, verse 26, the word bars to arches, and the words now reveal the style of the roof for our Creator's tent for meeting with Him. Let me show you the translator's words from the preface of the 1611 King James Bible. They gave 4 reasons for themselves or others to edit the Bible's words. The red arrow at the top points to their 3rd reason to edit the text. By the light and feeling we attained unto ourselves. The next red arrow down points to them giving the title, the Divine, to a clerk named Gregory. The next block of words, they point out they were happy that the first emperor of Rome established the year to the course of the sun. Behind this text means Nebuchadnezzar ordered his kingdom to follow our Creator's calendar when he stopped eating grass. Did you notice the letter S in sun is capitalized? This is to give respect to the Egyptian sun god Ra. Have you seen the Egyptian obelisk in the Vatican's front yard? The last arrow points to your reward for studying the Bible. Your reward is to have a fellowship with the saints and participation of a heavenly nature that will never fade away. There is no such thing as nature to a truthful Christian. Our Creator created everything. By their own words, they were not seeking to know our Creator or Jesus. Not everyone has the knowledge to correct every word. I have an old Bible program that has the New American Standard Bible 1977 concordance to help find a better word. Their concordance has the number of times they use that English word in a parenthesis for that Hebrew word. The translators removed his name, YHVH, to put in 2 titles, Lord and God. I replaced those titles using the letters Y and V as his name. For the Hebrew language does not have a J, O, or W. By using these 2 letters, I am closer to the truth than anyone using J, O, or W for his name. So why is there a single letter O in the Hebrew text 1,095 times? No proper English was used? The blue highlighted text is text that I am removing. The red highlighted words are little words that I'm adding. Gray italic words are words that I added. To respect and honor our Creator, all capital letters in purple are our Creator's words. This is Jesus' prophecy, for I am revealing the first writer's words to tell you the true truths about Jesus. As the text is revealed, you can taste the writer's style of wording. Their words will take your belief to trusting our Creator. You will be watching prophecy before your eyes as I edit true truths back into their psalms. Okay, this is going to be chapter 40. I'm going to review real quick what I found in 39. This will get you up to date, and maybe the story will actually continue from this story. This is going to start with the destruction of Israel, Judah, and it's talking about when Babylon came up against Jerusalem. And then here, this is what happens when it doesn't meet a format. The format that I've got right now is this is a 3-verse and this is a 3-verse, and together they make a larger paragraph. Each one of these small ones are a paragraph. Or reads like as if it was a paragraph. And then when it's missing, I have to put in something to represent that it's not there, because the rest of the text you can see will come together really nice here. But as he's going through and talking about Jeremiah is writing about what had happened, where Zedek is the last king for Judah, and they have bound him with chains and brought him to Babylon. And then they burnt his house down, Ivy's house, and the homes in Jerusalem. Now, there was captives that were left over, and that's what the story is talking about. And what the Nebuchadnezzar did, he gave orders for Jeremiah to be released by this captain here. Now, what I noticed was strange, that the text had revealed itself that he had to be in chains or chained in the guardhouse at this time, and that's because they wanted to keep Jeremiah. That's what I logically figured out. They wanted him to be left there so when they came into the city to take everyone, they would have either killed Jeremiah so he couldn't run and hide. So it says he was chained in the guardhouse. Now I could write it as first person later as saying he wrote these words, and he could say I was chained in the guardhouse. So this is still some of the editing that I know that I have to do. Example right here, this is our creator speaking, so this text needs to be that. So I will be doing another editing of the text here and trying to put them in order. Right now, I should inform you where Jeremiah is at. He becomes a prophet by heralding his prophecy at our Creator's gate entrance to his house in about the 10th year, according to the text. And then he is going to be with 3 different kings, and then he's going to be left in the land. Now, right now, Babylon is gone. They are left in the land. So we're talking about this time period here. Now, to start editing the text, let me make sure I blow it up for you. Whoops. Okay. Oh, I forgot to do that. I forgot to set up the chat rooms. So give me a second here. Because if I stream twice a day minimum, 6 days a week, I guess, and or I am right now. And if you want to chat to me while I'm posting this, I don't mind that. I also don't mind if you want me to start a video and have a one-on-one conversation. And that way I won't be editing the text. I'll answer your questions that way, because it's just a matter of me getting my new computer going here within a week, hopefully. And then we'll be able to communicate with each other. Now that I got them set up, I can start here on Jeremiah 40. These are going to be our Creator's words, so we need to add the S, but give respect and honor to the words that are from our Creator or for our Creator. So came to Jeremiah from YHVH. So that's how I honor and respect our Creator. As you can see, the blue text I'm going to be removing to meet the format that I have found that's very, very easy and repeatable to find. But you do need to have a lot of knowledge to get the words correctly. But right now, what I do is I'm looking for one major word here and one major word here, and the least amount in between the words to connect them. So I got this, and I've shortened his name up because I'm the guy that can do this right now. So to help people in the future, we don't need to say all these names correctly. We just need to have a name to be able to search to find out what's going on. To Jeremiah from YV, after need use, and this would be referring to, when I say his, would be Nebuchadnezzar's captain here. And this is what I do when I'm adding a word. I italicize it. His captain, not of, but for. And I figured out in the last video that it's not captain of the bodyguards. It's the captain for, the captives, the captured. However I want to put this, I'll put captives. And now we have a true story, but we also have a 4-verse this time. Now the 4-verse is when I put a comma here and put a period here, and these two make a statement. And then I do the same thing here, a comma and a period here. And that connects together pretty good. And that's how 4-verse is found. Now, after, and he released him from the, let's see here. This is 39, and he released him from the guardhouse. He was chained in the guardhouse. And the guardhouse is by the courtyard, so if you've seen that word, you now understand why I edit it this way. Now this is a city, so we don't need that anymore. Now you can see that there's a 3-verse if I get rid of the top 2 verses. And now this becomes a statement, and these two become a longer sentence to explain or be tied to this statement. Okay. When he taken him, he released him, had released him from the guardhouse. This here, don't need. We've already got it in the word released here. Bound. I don't know how much they bound him up yet. Or let's see. Release him from the guardhouse. In fact, I'm going to start doing this as first person that Jeremiah is writing this. Okay. Jeremiah is very able to be a scribe as well as a prophet. I'm going to use the word when. Then I'm going to put, whoops, I was, and right now I have to say in chains. Now this is odd. Among the exiles from Jerusalem and Judah. Now this I have a problem with because that's switching the stories. This is now talking about, let's see, Zedek is captured, and I need this cheat sheet over here. I've got some it's going to save me a little time once I get it correct. Editing. So release me when this text is now going to go up here. But this is a 4-verse. These two connect too good together to say that one goes up here for a 3-verse, because these two would not go together. Okay, so you can read from the styling of the writer how the words are placed, whether they're connecting together or not connecting together, and that's it actually ends up being you can tell the writer differences, or the difference between the writers, by how these words are put together to make up these psalms. Each of these groupings is known as a psalm. In fact, in Jeremiah, it says after one of the scribes read to the king Jeremiah's words that were written down, he wrote from 2 or 3 columns. So this, as you can see, is a column. But let's see here. This would be Zedek is among our exiles from Jerusalem and Judah to be exiled in Babylon. That kind of reads a little funny right there, that end, but that's the best I can do right now. That's why I said I'll be re-editing a lot of this when I put it together. It reads a little different when all this is gone. All the editing is gone from there. But this is a 4-verse and this is a 3-verse. So this has to be divided from here. But now, because up here in the other one, where is it? Nebuchadnezzar is going to give the order to release him. Right here. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, gave orders to Jeremiah to Nebuz, saying, release him. I took a word from take to release, and do no harm to him, but rather deal with him just as I tell you. So the thing here is down here, after the courtyard, to be among the weaker people that are left in the remnant of the land is where he's at. Now this text here, I have him now, he can't be among the exiles. So that he's taken Jeremiah and said to him, okay, this is picking up from the story I just showed you. But he wouldn't know this. He wouldn't know that he's sin or not sin. He's from a different, he's not going to understand what a sin is, let alone that the people are to be unto our Creator. So the second story is pretty much them adding extra text that it does not mean anything, I think. Because he's already released them. But I don't have this text as why Nebuchadnezzar had him released. He probably heard among the captives that, yeah, that Jeremiah, he prophesied that, and he predicted exactly that we're going to be taken as captives. And remember, some of them went, Jeremiah had told them if they wanted to save their lives to go to the enemy. So I'm sure that they were, when they were arriving to the enemy, they were probably telling them that their prophet had told them to come here to you, and you wouldn't kill us, but you can take us as captives. So I'm sure that this wording got to Nebuchadnezzar. Okay, you're, he didn't promise. He prophesied. He prophesied your destruction. I'm going to use Jeremiah here to replace the word him. And then I have a 3 verse in the middle of this. And I've got to say he. Until the text goes together and I say which verses am I going to use, then I will do this. So I know who he is, so I don't need this text. Although I can use more of this text. It wouldn't be now, it would be after. And I can put his name here. Don't need had. Released. Jeremiah. Because above it talks about that he just released them. Okay, and there's not much story of the release. This, after Nebzaz released Jeremiah, he said, don't need this. He said to Jeremiah, your God prophesied he said, Jeremiah, from you, I had to connect those two together. Okay, from you, your YV, your God prophesied your destruction. Has to be by us. By us. Is it warring? Is it battling? By warring. That's a good word right now. By warring. Now it's not so much a word. By warring. Destruction. And us capturing because calamity is always destruction, pretty much. And us against now this place would be Jerusalem, I would say, and capturing Jerusalem. Capturing this place would be Jerusalem. So that's why they probably would have found out where he's at by the other captives. I'm just trying to put the story together in my head as to make these verses extremely truthful. So what have I got here? Okay, YouTube, excellent. Okay, I forgot to move that out of the way. That helps when I can see that real quick over here on the other page, or the other screen. When it tells me I'm healthy, or then it gives me I'm crashing. And then I have to repost just like I did yesterday. That's why you record these, in case YouTube kicks you off and it doesn't reconnect. You need to re-put your video back up there. See, this is a repeat. So I'm going to get rid of all this. This, even though it's a 4 verse, I don't think it's needed at all. And then this I know is Zedic. Where I could put he was among our exiles. Or he was placed with our exiles. And he was, I guess I'll do it like that. Because if I take out too many of these important words, it's losing the style of the writer, how he writes. So I try to keep as many of them as possible. But I don't know if these are going to, because this I can now say is not truthful. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of that as well. And the story is going to be down here. So then these two go together to make two small paragraphs to make a larger paragraph. There we have finally the first set for the day. Now, whoops, somebody text, I'm not going to be able to see them. All right. But because I need these two to have a reasoning for why Nebuchadnezzar released him, these are important. These I can't say are truthful. They're just, he wouldn't know these things. Okay, the chains were on his hand then here, which is a big clue to how he was chained. So he had the freedom probably to go to bathroom. So yeah, this, if you prefer, this is a 3 verse to a 3 verse. Come along, I will look after you. But if you never mind. The whole land is before you. Go wherever seems good and right to you. Now that's how 3 verses pull up together as groups when you're cutting these up. So let's see here now. Now now I am releasing you. Here, if I put releasing you to be free today from your chains, from your chain on your hands. So this, he saw him. Now we've got the conversation of him when he's there. That is cool. Now this is only from Jeremiah then. This can only be text from Jeremiah. And now turns not to after, but when. So when So Jeremiah, he said to Jeremiah from Jeremiah, from you, why the Creator promised destruction. Yeah. Not but now. Now, Nebuchadnezzar said, for me to free you today from the chains which are on your hands. That is the only way that that can actually be said. It's not now behold. That's just text filling in. That's just text filling in, trying to capture these together. And I'm surely can't spell Nebuchadnezzar. So I got to go get that. But you know, it says, now Nebuchadnezzar gave orders. So let me go down here. Although this is, I think I'm going to have to add all this as my own text. Nebuchadnezzar told me, and this has to be all gray. Got to completely add that. Now Nebuchadnezzar told me to is he freeing him today to free you from your chain, free you from your chains. Oh, because I don't really like the word today as much as to free you today. Maybe he is told that day to free him. Told me to free you today from the chains on your hands. Okay. I have to put the word, he's got to be offering him like a if or not. Now, if you not prefer, want, and now if you want to come with me to Babylon, it has to be, yeah, just this. I will look after you. I've got two here. This text here is telling me when this happens. After Nebuchadnezzar put him among the above with the they fled at night. The Chaldeans caught him. They took him to Nebuchadnezzar. So that's, say that's the next day. And after he got done killing his sons in front of him and then blinding them, he stuck them with the exiles, and that's that verse. Then I got to have the conversation that's in the other text right here in this space. And so now when he goes to Jeremiah, oh, this is so getting, when it goes together, it's going to be actually step by step of what happened. And that is really, really cool. Nebuchadnezzar told me for you today is very important. Oh boy, I'm glad I didn't get rid of that word. Now, if you want to come with me to Babylon, I will look after you. But if you do not, this is such an important word. I got to add it as I'm saying it's a great text that I'm adding it. I need if and do as the important parts. Not is not all that and great as this second word. So if you do not come with me to Babylon, never mind. I had to read it a couple times to figure out which ones I don't need. The land is before you to go wherever. Seems good for you. Now, do those two words go with this one? Okay, I don't think so. Now, Jeremiah was still not going back. Well, what the heck? He said, seems good to you. So he's given him the freedom to do what he wants to do. So now this has to be a different subject. So this means this should be cut here. That needs to be cut there. That is a group. And that's going to be the group. Okay. So I got the grouping right. Not missing any paragraphs there, except for the first one to start to mesh with the text I've got here. Now this guy here, I don't need this. I guess we're getting introduced to this guy here, Gidel. Boom. And that seems to want to be like this. The king for Babylon appointed as he's got to appoint him as a governor. In that way, he's collecting taxes from those coming in and out and making trades with who's ever left behind. Appointed as our governor. that means this is who he is. So I would have to say, got to put all this together and say, is whom the king for Babylon appointed as our governor. Okay. Now this, Jeremiah, he's just going to go, this is another story. I can't come up with 3 verses here in this one. I think this is just them trying to connect to try to do what I'm doing right now, introducing you to this guy. But I know that he's going to, okay, they're going to have to meet up, but I think this guy has to get killed first, and then the people are going to seek out Jeremiah as the one who leads them, as their leader. And I'm going to say that maybe they're going to turn, maybe he's going to have, I don't know. I guess appoint a governor, and for him to stay. Or for him to stay with us among, I gotta start correcting the little words. So it's our, now I define these guys that are left over as the weaker, okay? So I gotta keep that up, because you gotta remember what I'm talking about is people that can't make it the 700-mile walk. They sure ain't going to provide them much to get there. But what I want to do is just sum up all the people as the weaker. Now, after they're gone, yes, there's going to be those that hid themselves that they didn't get or didn't capture. Look, you can go in the field, dig a quick pit and cover it and say, we'll hide here. So among the weaker, so I know that that's good. Appointed him as our governor, but it's not over Judah, it's over the land that he's there, which means all the land. So they burn most of the cities. So there might be one city that they didn't, and they used it as the point to bring the people together. That city, I think, is coming up pretty soon in the text. So he might not be over, he might not be governor, he might be overseer. So let me get rid of the word governor here and overseer. And say this, appointed him as our overseer, and for him to stay well, oops, I wanted to say put this at the end and then get rid of this and this, stay with our weaker. But now this is now starting to talk about the captors gave him rations. All that, and I was thinking that this is being tied here, but I'm going to leave it like this. This is not, maybe I need the word or go anywhere. One is overseers, or and and for, I need that and for him. That's what was getting me, and him to stay with our weaker. And I need the word again, and here, or is an or conforming. And go wherever. It seemed right for him. Okay, now that would be, I'm thinking this is the description for this guy here. This is back to Jeremiah receiving, gave him food. This would be then, to continue the story correctly, then I'm adding this to make sure who we know we're, and then this would be me, gave me and Nebuchadnezzar his captain. His captain gave me food and a gift. It had to be money. Money. gave him food and money, and let him go. Let me go. Now I see why they put this guy up here. This is them scattering. Now that would have been written by Jeremiah, true. But if I don't think he would write this as then I, Jeremiah, went to mess with to this guy here. Now this place here, I have tried to find where this place is at for a long time. And all I can say is of this captured land that they took all these people from, that I've got Mizpah, I think, right here. Okay. And I'm thinking where they had brought the captives together. This is where Nebuchadnezzar could have been when they brought the king to him. The text does not specifically say anywhere where Mizpah is at, but what this is this land goes down, so it's a very protective. Like you can't sneak attack to get to the king here. It's also close enough to the roads that are going to be here and here that they're going to have. In fact, I've even got it where Jesus comes through Mizpah, because in that story, you need the city that's unknown, that after he left Jericho, he stopped at this place, and that's where Lazarus sent his sister to talk to him. So that's the understanding of why I've placed Mizpah there. So this is a city, but he didn't go to him. But this, from this text here, seemed right for him. Now he's going to this. So this can't be Jeremiah. This is going to go with the text up here. And then this text, then I got to put the word he. He went. But if I'm changing this name here, and this I'm getting rid of, then it's kind of like I've got to move this guy's name from here, and I'm going to say I'm moving him from there to here, and then I don't have him here. Then I'm going to need this word. Then Gdel went to stay. Went to stay, not stayed. to be don't need those words. I need to be among our weaker. So this weaker. When I say the word weaker, I've got this verse covered. Okay. So now all the commanders of the forces who were in the field and their men. So this means that there were soldiers out fighting, or warriors, they called them. Now, the warriors don't need the word all. No, our warriors I don't need these two verses. Heard the king had appointed him over them. Oh, there it is. Past this. Over the land. There it is. Okay. That's pretty good. I was trying to put it in here. And appointed Gildel over the land. So that means that's a 3-verse. Heard the king had appointed over their land. Overseer. And appointed as our overseer in our land. That's the best way I can say it. Now, land needs to be a capital L. Now, when I put the capital letter L on, that describes this here, okay? The promised land is on this side, okay? Not this side. This side means land, okay? And it's probably not going to, it probably is all over here, but Babylon's got to assign somebody to control this land. And that is because, where is the map? Where is the map? Maybe I have it here. It might be easier to find here. This one? Yeah, okay. This is good. This is a very larger uh, outlook, but this is Jerusalem over here, this red dot. Judah is the kingdom. Now, these are where the Chaldeans, between this red line and the river, is the Chaldean territory, or was land. Now Babylon has taken over it. But there's people down here, Arabia. Now, there's going to be people from Egypt as well, but the Arabians are living along this coastland because this is the Sahara Desert, okay? Nobody's living there even today. So the thing here is, I don't know how much it is growing from today for over the last 2,000 years, but what I'm seeing or going to understand that they might have been, many of them living over here in this area here. So knowing that they're here in this area, and they're maybe, I would say that, look, after a war and they've heard about destruction, they aren't going to carry all the goods back to Babylon, okay? They're going to carry some, but there's a lot of things that people can pick over because there's still this major route that's going to go up here that they're going to trade. Still, the traders are going to trade back and forth with Babylon. If not, they're trading among themselves down here now, and they don't want to trade with Babylon, but they know that they could come up here and get a lot of goods from a lot of cities because there was a big population there. So, knowing that, you needed to know about the land and the people around them. Okay? But he's only the overseer right now. I I don't think they're going to allow them to have an army. So now our warriors, I'm still got to work on these verses here. I could even blow that up a little bit more. Get this a little bit better now. Now our warriors and people that were in the fields. I have to put an S here. Feel that's the best correction so far. Now our warriors, which covers forces. So I pretty got to make. Now our warriors and the people that hid themselves in the field. Now our warriors that hid in the fields. I'm trying to decide in my mind whether it's fields or forests. And it would make sense that they hid in the forest and not the fields. Our warriors that hid in the forest. Because I got to sum up as the commanders. You just can't have the commanders and then down here drop in their men. Now our commanders and our warriors that hid, because you have to have where they're coming from. Okay, they just can't appear out of nowhere. Okay. Now our warriors, now our commanders and our warriors that hid in the fields with others. And those would have been those that had just fled as they were coming out of the cities and didn't get captured. Did they take them in, or have I got that part wrong? Now our warriors that hid in the field okay, that hid in the field. Now do I have them coming to them? No. Okay, now our warriors that hid, because there's no more commanders. Where the war's over, everybody's just wounded, hanging in there, that hid in the fields. The fields, that would mean that, well, see, they could burn the fields to flush out people. And I believe that's what would have happened, but it can't be in the forest. So I'm going to add the word forest. Now that was an easy add, okay? That was hid in the forest. Um, went to him. No, went to him. They and their men went to him, for they heard the king. Okay, now I think that's tying that together. Okay. Um, because after he got here, now these guys showed up. Okay, that's what I'm reading. How they heard this. Okay, but these two go together. That's going to be out there by itself, but these two are going to connect together. So I forgot to check my mic after all this time. Sometimes you do it so often that all of a sudden pops up in my mind. I had problems with OBS before I did this one. So now this story, I don't need this. We don't need this. Don't need this. And these seem to be just being added. And this don't need to be added. And my hand is starting to hurt. I did too much work. I'm glad I got tomorrow off. So, this I already have when I got the word went to him. So I don't need this. This guy, I think he's going to end up being a bad guy. Likewise, all the Jews who were in Moab. Moab didn't exist anymore. They've been gone for 1,000 years. Sons, and these guys have been gone as well. Other lands. This is not needed. I'm just going through real quick trying to find the story, what I'm supposed to look for. Because there's a lot of text that's here that says there's a story. Now, this is saying that the ones who had fled into other countries came back. Now, that I don't think is, oh, they gathered summer fruit in a great abundance. We don't need this. Return from their place which they had been driven, came to the land of Judah. I don't think, I think there would, I think this is possible, but I don't think all of them did. Then those that fled returned from all those places. No, they didn't, because you got to understand, I've already done Ezra, and Ezra talks about everybody in Egypt is going to then come back up. So I don't think this is true, true enough to say that a great multitude came. So, see, also all the Jews that were in all these other places came. I don't think that's, I think maybe a few stragglers, but you got to understand, when they fled, they have to have a way of life. And here they got that. You go out and gather food too again, and oil, and put them in storage vessels, and live in your cities. Now the cities are burnt down, crispy, like, okay. It would be rebuild your, go rebuild, but they don't want to, they can't live in the city. They're too unorganized. Look, they understand how to live off the land, so they've got to go back to the fields where the fruit trees are at, the olive trees, and start there. So wherever that is, they would not be in the cities. So I'm pretty sure that this is wrong. Now stand up The Chaldeans. The Chaldeans are with Babylon. Maybe stand with the Chaldeans who come to us. Maybe as the reward for the Chaldeans, they were given the right to rule over them. I don't know how powerful this overseer is. They have no army except for the guys that just came, and I don't think they're swearing to Babylon as quick as everybody else. They're just down there trying to figure out what's going on. Now, if I've got that they went and because they heard, now they got there. Who got there? Met him. It has to be met him. Okay. Now, who met with him? Because I'm going to say this, and then this is a period. So this is out, and these are good guys. Now I can't have these guys together. I got to come up and change this name. I'm going to change it like this right now. Because when you do a search, I want to make sure everybody's individual. So you get to the story you want to search for. Because I put Jonathan here. He was a friend of David's. So as our overseer in our land, Jonathan. And their men came should I put the word and? Let's see. Jonathan and their men came to meet with him. And he swore to them and their men We are serving the Chaldeans. Did Babylon give them over to the Chaldeans? Because they took everybody that was important, and now it's the Chaldeans ruling. Serve with the Chaldeans. Swore to them, do not be afraid, and serve serve like the Chaldeans. If I put like, then maybe that's going to change, but that seems to be more in line than. Okay. They went to him and they didn't know whether they were going to stay there or leave, so he's talked them into it. Okay. And stay in the land, and I have to make sure that it's talking about east or west of the Jordan River now. That's the promised land. Moses gave them the other side, so it's not the other side is the promised land. And you'd have to learn why they built the 3 tribes or 2.5 tribes built an altar on the other side of the river that they were going back and forth. You have to know that story. And stay in the land and serve like the Chaldeans, and stay in the land and serve. It has to be our king, because he is now the authority figure. Serve in our land, that it goes well with you, that it goes well for you. Okay, I need the word for yours. You and them, meaning the men he came with. And not go, but live. Somewhere the word is to live. Stay in the land to serve our king. I don't like the word well. I just don't. But I want to put the word yours here, meaning maybe that you whew, stay in the land and serve our King, that you live, that you live, that you live. Now my eye is watering like crazy here. I don't like the word live. Would that go well with you, that you live safely? That's the best I can come up with. That you live safely. Stay in the land and serve our King, that you live. Live with safety or live in safety? Live safely? Okay. So that group is done. As for me, now that is I am staying. I'm staying at mitzvah. For the Chaldeans are coming. This has to be living with safety here above. And then this is not needed. This has to be, I know they're coming, so as for me, I am staying at mitzvah for the Chaldeans are coming. Are coming to me, because he's the overseer who's been assigned, so that means that he is supposed to stay there. So the thing here is I got to figure out, is this the truest I can make this statement? Now, as for me, I am staying at Mitzvah, for the Chaldeans are coming to me. And then that way, whatever they carried back for their small territory or their kingdom that is now under Babylon, but took their what am I going to talk? That's not. Anyway, the goods that they got off the land, they couldn't carry it all, went back, and then they're coming down here. And I'm thinking these guys now are going to be the Babylonian force because they were trusted before. So the Chaldeans are going to be like the rulers. The Chaldeans will rule. Chaldeans will rule. Not our coming, our will rule us. The Chaldeans will protect us. I gotta say that. I gotta have it this way. Because it's got to be some reason why they're saying live in safety. Okay? He knows he's going to stay, so he's got to have some kind of promise. And I'm going to put this as gray, that I'm putting that word in. And I got to say that I'm putting safety in as well. So, safely. And because those two go together as to continue the story here. Okay, now I just got that. I just got done editing all that. So, but it's saying the same thing I got edited. I gotta have who he is here. But is it after a while? Or is it later? Is he now living on the land and understanding the situation? People are reporting to him because he's got men under him. No, it's not later, but later, Jonathan. He's going to tell him. Asked him. Where? Now, these guys have been dead for 1,000 years. Now this isn't. This is me just working to see. I'm just going to use his name. We got to have somebody here that goes like this, that we know that's a commander. And I just say this, and then I'm not using this at all. Okay, let me do that and just say, ask him. But I do need later. So I still need later here. So, because to say that's what's asked. Be aware of I'm going to put his name here instead of here. And that way, there, Johanning asked, are you aware of now, this can only be Arabians because I can't have them as Egyptians. Let's see. Let me just bring up a map, and then should be here. If it's not the Egyptians, it's got to be the Arabians, okay, that are living in here even. And I don't know the land enough to know that. I don't think there's cities. I just think that these are nomads, okay, more or less. But that this area is known as Arabia as nomads, who were travelers that went back and forth to do a lot of trading with the Chaldeans. So it has to be the Arabians, not this guy's name of. Because I have to have where this king is at, and how can he be a king? That's Arabians. Arabians? Is that how I spell it? Well, I don't have that guy's name. I don't know how come that does that. Oh, it's connected. That's why it refers to the first. Okay. Let me add that to my dictionary. Are you aware of the Arabians? Are sending that was something, sending, and I'm just calling him Ish. Can't have him Ishmael. Sending Ish. Don't need this. Now I've got 1, 2, 3. So Ish to take your life. Although this, now I need a, because I don't know how many sons he has, so I always do this to all the texts. A son from Neath to take your life. Did not believe him, did not, but believe I have this guy. I don't know what, but I'm thinking this has got to be missing right here. Because this is like a statement, believe Joe Ain't, I don't know. Maybe I should cut this name down. I will do that later. When I get the more time. Okay. And that's that. And then this is going to start here. Said, it looks like he's going to do it secretly. So said, I can secretly, I can. I can secretly go and kill him. go and kill them. So now it's more or less like like I was saying, they're nomads. They don't really have a king. So it's a group together, and he's got enough men. They know how to fight. They've got their weapons. They can go down there in force and kill them. And I got they. So I'm going to do it that way and get rid of that. Don't need this. And not. Now, they're going to know when they killed him because there's going to be dead bodies left all over the place. They don't know who might kill him, but you can't trust that. So I can't trust that nobody's going to know. Okay. Or why should he take, why should he, if he takes your life, um, not seeing how this is to be put together. This got so much here. Like the question, and I don't know if this just needs, because it's like, is this connected to this? And then this has to have to. And I'm not, that's scattered. Scatter. This would be R. Little adjustments at a time help me. Because this, scatter R remnant. No, this has got to go remnant. They aren't going to perish. Have no overseer. That's, if he kills them, the remnant doesn't have an appointed overseer. Have no seer. Because they aren't going to die off if they kill him anyway, so that's not wrong. The important thing is that he's not an overseer for him no more. They have no overseer, and he's the one to be talking with the Chaldeans. So, scattered up here, or gathered to you, will scatter. Should he take your life? or gathered to you will scatter, and our remnant, let me grab the word will here, will have no overseer. Now you can tell the style of this writer has a long verses. This is who are gathered to you will scatter, and our remnant will have no overseer. If I don't know I kind of know what's coming up in the text, but can't remember exactly. But I'm just going to say he's going to say no. He's already refused him up here once. So even after he tells him secretly, if if he takes your life, who are gathered to you will scatter, and our remnant will have no overseer. Okay, that's him saying this. But those two go together, okay? That's for sure. And this has to go with this. So this, I'm just trying to figure out where the format is at. And those two would go together, as some of these writers have been doing, is starting one story in the middle of the other, yet connected very well. Okay, now I've got that. Oh good, this is the end for this. So this is taking rather a little bit longer than most here. Now, don't need this. Don't need this. He didn't say, he told. Do not do this. Do not do. Now I have to change this to he to make the format. I'm just going to add it here, get rid of it here, because he told, and I need his name up here. Do not do this. For you are telling me a lie. And I don't need this because we know the subject already. But then there's the verses here. But then this might be the rest of the next story here. Like I said, sometimes these writers do this type of style of writing where they continue by splitting them, but they really aren't what do I say, an exact grouping. So to make a larger paragraph, but the text goes so smoothly together, and yet you can tell the subject matter is changing. And maybe that's a more sophisticated way of writing for them. Now, yeah, that was, I was saying, that was Zedic, so I got to have one more. That's a big space. Then it would have been like this. And it was 2 here, 1 here, 2 here. One here. One, 2. Right. Then that was the end. We introduced this guy here. Two. Then this will be 2. And then, like I said, this is that grouping. It's strange, but works. This will be 1, 2. Oops, this goes here. This goes split. So you can see there is text that's going to be missing in a couple spots here. But this is what this text looks like. It took a little bit, and I'm pretty sure I've got a real good start on the text. When I go through and clean it up next, this is what's will probably make more sense to me if I don't do it a month from now. Because I'm still working on Psalms that I'm pretty close to finally being done with for their second editing. So, but when I look this over, this looking good. Yep. Okay. I'm happy with it. And I will be back later tonight. This is the first one for the day.